Hello and welcome to One Win Presents. Brian, your host here, and I'm honored to bring you an exciting episode today. I had the opportunity to speak with the one and only Kevin Crown, the natural-born club killer and living legend. He is taking the DJ world by storm, and with his electrifying shows, his carnivals, and his live streams, we'll learn about his journey to becoming a legendary figure in the DJ industry and how his accomplishments have shaped him into the man he is today. So buckle up and get ready for an unforgettable episode of One Win Presents as I chat with the legendary Kevin Crown himself. Brian, your host here at One Win Presents. Let's get started.
What's up, everybody? Brian, your host here. I am here with the man himself, the living legend, the natural-born club killer himself, Mr. Kevin Crown. Kevin, thank you very much for coming over here today. I gotta appreciate it. Tell me real quick, how you doing, man? How's everything been? I know you're a busy man nowadays. You got a lot of things lined up. Tell me what a day in the life of Kevin Crown is, from the moment you wake up, how busy it is, what you're doing, what you got going on.
First of all, I just want to say, thank you for just taking the time to sit with me in my environment. But a day in the life, average day on a Monday through Friday, I do my morning show. The biggest, the baddest, the modest, the gladdest, the craziest morning show on Twitch. So the first thing I do, I wake up and get my daughter ready for school. Shout out to Kennedy. She's in kindergarten right now, actually pre-K. And I get her ready for school, give her a bath, help her brush her teeth, put on her clothes, put on her mask, walk her to school. I come back, I get my breakfast, I turn on all my computers, and I get ready to stream. And I do my Twitch show from 9 to 12. At 12 o'clock, if I don't go overtime, I eat again, take a little rest. 3 o'clock, from 3 to 6, I'm on regular radio. Shout out to WZOP, WZPP in Florida. After that, 6:15, I'm in the gym till about 10 o'clock. And then I repeat Monday through Friday. Friday, depending on if I have a gig. If not, I spend some time, quality time, with the missus. And then usually what happens, I away on the weekends. So I fly in, I fly out. So whatever destination I got to play, that's what's going on. So that's Monday through Friday. Then on the weekends, that's normally what happens.
It's a busy life. I don't know if I'd be able to withstand my relationship with a busy life like that. But shout out to you, man. That's really good. I'm very happy that you're doing these things. And, not only just doing these things, but you're doing something that you love. And I've seen your work, and I've seen how you've been with people in the crowd and everything. And I got to give you a big shout out for that, because it's everything that you want in a DJ to represent. And just tell me, what made you want to come up to this point to become a DJ yourself?
Well, when I first started DJing, I was 12 years old. I had no aspirations of being like a celebrity or popular. I did it for the love of music. The first time I saw a record was my father. He wasn't a DJ to say he was going out and getting gigs. That's just the way he listened to music. He liked to play records and, spin them back and forth. I wanted to go outside and play basketball, but growing up in a rough area of Brooklyn, Brownsville, Brooklyn, my mother didn't let me go outside. So, after playing with my toys and video games, when I wanted to listen to music, I started doing what I saw my father do. And then I started realizing, if I put these records together and press record, I could make my own mixtapes. And that's how it started.
Oh, that's beautiful. Let me ask you real quick, like how young was that?
I was 12 years old at the time when I first... the first spark of actually DJing came up. It was 12 years old.
That's a beautiful age. From 12 years old and to continually doing this right now, that's very good. So we just recently went through a pandemic, and we're practically still going through it right now. Tell me real quick of how did that help or how did that hurt you?
I can't say, it hurt me, man. It right now, I think everything that is coming to me right now is a result of my my perseverance through the pandemic. When I first recognized that it was going to be a problem for my career is when they shut down the NBA. They shut down the NBA on a Wednesday in March. The next day, I went to the grocery store because I said, I think I probably should stock up on some supplies. And I remember being in the grocery store for about 3 hours. And, then they said schools were getting shut down. And then they said, people, you guys don't have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on. And then everything started getting shut down. And that point in 2020, I was booked until November in March. And, for the first day, for like 12 hours, I was panicking. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive? How am I going to feed my family? And I did a stream. I did a Zoom party. And it winded up being 45,000 people who watched it. They were on Facebook, they were on Zoom, they were on Instagram, and it wound up being 45,000 people. And I had streaming capabilities down here, but because I was touring for so many years, it was just collecting dust. So I came down here and I really looked around and I just started doing my research and updating all the firmware. And I developed this show. The first time I did it, all I did was I'm gonna play music in the morning time because all the DJs were streaming at night. And I said, I do not want to. It was just like everybody was hopping from club to club to club to club to club. I said, I want to do something for the people who have to wake up in the morning. And I did it. And then I asked them, should I do it again? And 2 years later, I've been doing it Monday through Friday. And, I've built a following. You know, I've been recognized from like people from Questlove to Little John, have seen me on this platform. Serato, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have seen me DJ all over the world. With me, just staying the course and not being complacent and just keep trying to just innovate and innovate and innovate. So, for me, the pandemic was it was amazing for me what came out of the pandemic. It was crazy, man.
See, times like that can make you or break you, and I'm glad that it made you where you are. Speaking about the streaming capabilities, I noticed you're very, very big on Twitch right now. So this is a wonderful studio where we are right now, and I see everything happens in the comfort of your home. So tell me a little bit about your Twitch.
So, Twitch was one of the last platforms I streamed on. I started on Instagram, like most of the DJs. At a time, I was doing Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And then Twitch was just like the little stepchild that nobody paid attention to. And, Instagram obviously has a lot of issues because it's not a streaming platform, it's a social media. And we kind of hack and tweak things to be able to stream on it. And one day I got fed up and I said, I'm not doing Instagram anymore. And YouTube would cut you off because copyright, and Facebook the same thing. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try Twitch. And I started noticing I was getting 100 followers every single day for like a month. I was like, I can do this. And Twitch would never cut you off. It had the best interface. The community was amazing. The way DJs could support DJs and just streamers in general was unique. And, I was just able to innovate that platform and push it to the limit. And, when I say the biggest, the baddest, the maddest, the gladdest, the craziest, I'm not trying to say I'm the best, but I definitely say I'm the most unique streamer on Twitch when it comes to music. I will say that.
I've noticed your Twitches, and I must say it's very well. I love how you're engaged with your audience. You give your shout outs, you speak to people, you mention their names, and I think also that's what helps draw in the community more and more because, you're interacting with the people because what you're doing is not only for yourself, but you're doing it for the people around you, which is very, very great. So I respect that very, very much. And next up, sorry, chair. So I know along with everything else that you do in life, with your DJing, with your kids, you're soon to be married and everything. But I've also noticed that you're a 4th degree black belt. So
Yes.
tell me about that. I'm very interested.
So, it's like, they have yin and yang. That's my balance. People have said, we thought you would be like kind of like arrogant and kind of like an a-hole and kind of like cocky, but you're very down to earth. And, right along with DJing, martial arts has also been, my love and my passion. I started doing Taekwondo when I was 14. I would have did it earlier, but unfortunately, my parents didn't have the means to send me to school. So when I got an opportunity to go on my own, I took it and I grabbed onto it. Um, it didn't last long when I was 14, but when I was able to have some sort of income of my own, I went back to class, and then I had to make a choice. And at the time, I was dancing in music videos, I was DJing, I was working, I was doing taekwondo, and taekwondo. After a little injury, um, I left it alone for 8 years, and something happened in my life that it made me want to go back to it, and I went back to it, and I got grand championships. I got I'm a fourth degree black belt right now. At the time, I wasn't a black belt; I was a blue belt. I achieved my black belt. I started teaching, and that is more than just fighting and the physical abilities. It shaped my character in a different way, and I think the uh, the the dedication and the discipline I got from the martial arts, it permeated into the rest of my life, which is why I was able to do what I did in the pandemic, because I had that discipline and I had that mentality that it's small steps, it's no giant steps, it's no miracles that gets people to a special place in their life. It's small steps that people don't see. And when you cross a threshold, people like, wow, how'd you do that? But they don't see the small steps every day. So it's like that's like my balance, you know.
That's very, very nice. I see your passion for your karate and everything, but maybe any talks about opening a little something so you can like teach others in the community?
See, um, as you probably know, when you have your own business, if you're not there, all the time, your business is gonna fail. So that is, my long-term goal, to actually open, I don't know if it's gonna be a school or a fitness center or a wellness center, but something in the community. You know, um, by now, a lot of people know about my martial arts, and they know about my fitness enthusiasm, and people ask me all the time, and unfortunately, it's something my grandmaster used to say, and he says, and it sticks with me. When you're a champion or striving to be a champion, you gotta be selfish. When you're trying to get a championship, you can't worry about other people. You gotta worry about yourself. When you are a master, you create champions. So I go in and out of that space where either I'm the champion or striving to be that champion, or I'm the master. So right now, I'm the champion striving to keep my championship. So I cannot open a school to help other people at this time, because I don't I have to be selfish with my time, because I'm still developing my legacy. When whenever or whatever I see in my life that says, okay, Kevin, the touring has to stop, or Kevin, you've done enough. Now it's the next part of your life. Because don't get it twisted. This is just for a time. Entertainers, DJs, actors, everybody. When you're of a certain statue, it's just for a time, and it's unfortunate when people do not know when they're over the hill. I don't want to be one of those guys that is, yo, why is he still doing this, man? He don't look good. He don't sound good. He's tired. You know, I I wanna bow out on the top, and then pass the baton or develop other champions. And that's when I'll open up my business and open up my school, and that is my long term goal. But at this point, I can't do it right now.
I get you. I totally understand. But I look forward to it. If you have anything coming up in the future, I would definitely look forward to it. It'll be a great, great opportunity. And everybody goes through changes in life every now and then. So we do it just for the better. All right. With all the music coming out nowadays, I know it's hard to keep up with everything. How do you keep up with your latest music trends?
Honestly, I love music. I love music, and I think that's what keeps me good. I think there are. I'm not calling any names, and if it doesn't apply, let it fly. I think there's guys that's doing it who do it more for what they get out of it than the love of the music. I love the music. It's If you see me play music, you could tell I'm into it. I love what I play. So I'm a fan first. So when there's a new Kess or a new Vibes Cartel or a new Marshall or a new anything, I'm on it, and I wanna listen to it. And because I play music 7 days a week, somewhere in some capacity, you know, like for instance my Twitch show, there's been instances where an artist will send me a song, and all I do is cue it up, won't even listen to it, and I'll play it, and I will fall in love with the song as the people are listening to it and get the energy from the song. And this has happened quite a few times. So this is also my business, so I gotta be about my business. It's like asking a stockbroker, how he keeps up with the latest stock trends. This is his bread and butter. So if I want to keep on top, I gotta know what's going on from it hits the streets. I gotta know. I just shout out to my brother Problem Child, and shout out to all the artists. They send me projects directly. So as they come out, like I'll get a project 4:30 in the morning, wake up and see it there, and I'll download it and I'll listen, and I'm ready to spin it. So I'm a fan first, so it's never hard. You know, Obviously there's music can break different ways. There's the TikToks, there's the Instagrams. There's things that's going on in other countries, and that's why it's important to you can't be in a bubble. You can't just because I'm in New York City, I can't just worry about what's going on in New York. I gotta know what's going on everywhere. Oh, this is going on in St. Lucia. This is going on in Trinidad. This is going on in Africa. This is going on in Jamaica. This is going on, and then sometimes you create the culture. Sometimes you're curators of the culture, but sometimes you create the culture too. So it's just about being flexible. Like Bruce Lee said, you gotta be water. You know.
Very well said. Very well said. And speaking about music, is there one particular song that you have that if I play this song right now and I drop this song, it's just gonna make everybody go crazy?
Well, it's all about reading your crowd. You got to know your crowds. What works in New York won't work in Florida. What works in Jamaica won't work in Trinidad. What works in Grenada won't work in St. Vincent, and it goes on and on. So you got to know when to drop what. I do know the records. Like people are calling me. That's St. Lucia calling me right now. People. For the most part, it's always about the crowd first. So I can't say one crowd because that same song that could move 5,000 people, I could go to another venue where 10,000 people would look at me like, "We don't know this, Kevin." So you definitely gotta read your crowd, and you gotta read your crowd. You gotta know your music. I can't just say one because I play for a lot of different kinds of people. So I can't. It's never just one song, but that is also, the cracking the code is fun for me. Actually figuring out, yo, what can I do to move them, and then, I'm not gonna say I bat 1,000. Every DJ has failed in some capacity, but you gotta know how to recover. You don't panic, but you got to know how to recover. It's just like a comedian. There's every comedian told a joke and everybody just nobody's laughing. So you got to know how to recover. So it's all part of the game. It's all part of the craft. And I'll never go there with a preconceived notion that this song is gonna destroy the crowd, because the crowd in front of me may not be the crowd in my head. So it's not one song.
I get it. No, that's very, very well said. Speaking about that, excuse me, what do you have upcoming in the near future? What kind of projects do we have to look forward to you from Mr. Kevin Crown that we can go to, we can see you, or what big things you have coming up?
Well, before the pandemic, I was on tour. I was getting ready to go into my third or fourth year of like full touring, and that was put on hold. And as the mandates are getting lifted, my calendar's full. I'm full almost up to September. So I saw it. I was like, I got a little tour. So the tour that me and the Crown Army, that's the community on Twitch. Shout out to the Crown Army. I said, what should I call the tour? And they said, call it the Journey Tour. So it's the phrase now is follow the journey. because sometimes the journey is better than the destination. So, that's, the journey tour, um, is my focus right now, getting back on the tour. Even though I've been traveling, I never really stopped playing outside. We were doing our thing, but this is different. This feels different. This is the main stage. This is the big crowds. This is not quarantine life anymore, and I'm ready for it. I don't think it's like a question if I could do it. It's just I'm just ready to just go back out there. So follow the journey. That's what I'm on right now.
Follow the journey. This is it. Let's do this. Uh, Lastly, I'd like to know, in all of your career and all of your time, what is the biggest highlight that you have, or maybe one thing that sticks out? Because I'll tell you one thing that I noticed from you. I noticed one thing from you was that you did a segment for WPIX Channel 11,
Yeah.
which I thought that was like super cool, being on the news, being on Channel 11. It's in New York. And I feel like that can help bring you up even more than where you are. So aside from that, even if it's the same thing, tell me what maybe was something for you.
It's funny, right? The opportunity came up very quickly with the news, and while I was doing it, it didn't seem like much, but then social media was going absolutely crazy. Yo, why is Kevin Crown on the news? And I wasn't on the news for like 5 minutes. I was on the news every commercial break for like 3-4 hours. And I think the producers or the program directors liked what I was doing. And they Kevin, keep going, keep going, keep going. And it's funny, I got invited back the next week, but I was out of town. Shout out to them. But that I rarely even think about that. When people remind me of that, I was like, oh yeah, I was on the news, But that wasn't it, man. One of the highlights that I always talk about was Trinidad. I think it was 2018. Shout out to my brother Private Ryan, DJ Private Ryan. This was Soca Brainwash, the 70s. So what was supposed to happen? This was my first Soca Brainwash Trinidad. It was 10,000 people. This was one of the biggest Soca Brainwash ever. And if you guys know, Soca Brainwash is about DJs. There are no artists. The artists are in the crowd partying, and there was tons of them. And what was supposed to happen was, Barry Hype was, his Private Ryan's other MC. He was supposed to start. They would bring me out later on, to hype up the crowd as a surprise. But, a DJ, he got sick. And Barry had to run on and MC for another DJ before Private Ryan. And the way entertainment goes, it was like, well, he's already on stage. He can't now reintroduce himself. So he's like, Kevin, you're up. So as I always do, I always say a prayer. And whoever I'm working with, I say a prayer with them. So I spoke with Ryan and I said, yo, bro, this is the 70s. We got thousands of people dressed to the T in 70s attire. We're going to take a chance. He was like, yeah, boy. And the rule in Trinidad is nothing but soca. You cannot play. If you play anything but soca, you're going to feel it. And, me being on the big stage, not being Trinidadian, looking the way I look, I'm like, yo, bro, we're going to take this risk, and I have a transition to get out of it, because you can't let them see you sweat. So if it doesn't work, gotta have a plan. I told him the plan was Michael Jackson, Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa, Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa. I said with that clap, we can go into Bungie Garland. Everybody let me see you clap your hands. Right? I've done it before. It's gonna get him if it doesn't work. So we said our prayer, and cool thing about working with Private Ryan, I really don't know what he's gonna play song to song, and I never go to his laptop. I just connect with the crowd, and that from working with him all these years, that has made me a better MC, a better entertainer. Just connecting with the crowd and not worrying so much about what he's playing. And then we gotta have like a synergy where we kind of just like connect. It's weird, right? So he did something. He played old soca. got him, we rocking, and then he went into the disco. So I'm looking like, yo, we are going to lose some of these people. It's 10,000 people. It's Trinidad Carnival. Some people are gonna be mad. And you know when you go left like that with music, you always gonna have people like, why they doing that? Play the soca. But what happened is the crowd, it was like they was waiting for that, and they went crazy. And I'm looking, I'm like, keep going, bro. It's working. So then at that point, and we was on stage for 2.5 hours. At that point, I had an out-of-body experience, and it's like I was watching myself from the crowd, and like I get chills every time I say it because everything was just like on autopilot. I started moving, and then I turned and I said, yo, not the Mama Say Mama Sa, but the Michael Jackson period. So he went on Michael Jackson's segment. I start dancing, and I start doing, and the crowd starts moving with me. So then it was just a matter of time for the transition to happen. And when he dropped it, I already knew where he was going. And we didn't have to speak, we didn't have to nothing. And when we went back to soca, the crowd went crazy, and we just took it up from there. That was the year, Family. That was the year that was, that was going crazy. And, I stage dive in the crowd. We had a big afro. I threw the afro. Barry Hype came back on stage, and, it's hard to say, but when you're not from a country, it's kind of hard to get acceptance. When you're a foreigner, they kind of analyze you and look at you different. And when I did what I did on Soca Brainwash stage, everybody knew me. They knew I wasn't from Trinidad, and they didn't care. They was like, yo, you killed it. Some DJs, and DJs don't normally congratulate DJs in this mate. I heard DJs saying, yo, I got goosebumps watching you, Kev. Artists, big artists, they were telling me, yo, that was amazing. And, we are our worst critics. And if you have a bad set or something you could have did better, when all the lights are gone and you're sitting in your car, you're sitting in your bed, that weighs on anybody. Yo, man, I could have did better. Damn. But when you have a night like that, yo, it's like a kid before Christmas. I couldn't sleep. It was like I was floating, because it was like everything you wanted and more you got to do, because I couldn't even have planned that set. That was me and Ryan, we often talk about it. And because of that, we had so much more epic performances, because now it's like, yo, bro, if we could do that, we could do anything.
Being a DJ requires a great deal of skill and dedication. The ability to bring people together and create a lively atmosphere is truly amazing. Unfortunately, DJs don't always receive the recognition that they deserve for the hard work and preparation that goes into their craft. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in. I'm Brian, your host here at One Win Presents. Don't go anywhere, as we have an exciting show planned for you next week. Thank you for joining us at One Win Presents.
Today is a mixture of dishes. You can do some pepper lamb, pepper shrimp, some Thai red curry chicken, and also we're going to do some Penang curry lamb, and stir-fried vegetables, authentic Thanksgiving pasta salad. We also have the traditional saltfish, so that's going to be fried up with some cassava